Welcome back, guys. It's your host and your friend, the Anonymous Gamer here. I'm really sorry for being late, but today I will talk about Apex Legend in brief and details. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, first of all, the backstory. Well, actually, Apex Legends is from Titanfall 2 universe, where mechanically advanced people live. But there was a war going on for about 100 years between the IMC corporations and the militia in the part of the universe or planet called Frontiers. However, after 100 years, finally the battle ends, but peace came at a cost, and most of the frontier was destroyed and ruined due to the extensive warfare. So now people have to find a new place to live. But the outlands located east of the frontiers were not affected by the war, as they were very far. So now people try to live there, but that's not at all safe. One has to be skilled and has to fight in the Apex game to survive and win and live on. And if one is above all, or if one beats one, then the other is superior. Well, now about the characters. Firstly, we have Bangalore. Anita Williams, aka Bangalore, was born into a military family where she, her parents, and her four elder brothers all served in the IMC armed forces. Bangalore has been an exceptional soldier since she was young. Anita and her brother were ordered to retrieve a mercenary flight from the Outlands to aid in the IMC's fight against the militia. However, their unit lost contact with the IMC headquarters and were ambushed on arrival. The squad scattered, but Jackson stayed behind to give his sister time to escape. Alone with no way home, Anita put her training, extensive weapon knowledge, and competitive spirit to work by joining the Apex games. Now she fights to raise money for passage back to the IMC home base, where she hopes to reunite with what remains of her family. Now let's talk about her abilities. Well, beginning with her tactical ability includes smoke launcher, where she could throw smoke grenade from her gun, and her passive ability includes double time, where she could run with double speed during combat, and her ultimate ability includes rolling thunder, where she could order and fire an artillery strike over a huge range. Next on, we have Gibraltar. Makua Gibraltar, aka Gibraltar, is a gentle giant with a wild side. The son of two Sarvas volunteers, he has always been skilled at getting others out of dangerous situations that are common in the Outlands. However, he only began to understand the value of protecting others when he and his boyfriend stole his father's motorcycle, took it on a joyride, and got trapped by a deadly mudslide. His parents saved them, and his father lost an arm in the process. Gibraltar has never forgotten that sacrifice and has devoted his life to helping those in need. Apex games didn't change that, but they changed what it meant. Many of Gibraltar's friends and colleagues have competed in the games for extra money, fame, and glory over the years, and some never came home. Gibraltar joined to keep them safe, and for the first time his skills as a rescuer and his rebellious nature worked together. Now let's talk about his abilities. His tactical ability includes the Dome of Protection, used to protect any teammate within a range. His passive ability includes Gun Shield, in which it's a shield protected attached to the gun to minimize the damage caused by the bullets, and his ultimate ability includes the Defensive Bombardment, when he does a mortar strike over a huge range. Next on, we have Lifeline. AJH, aka Lifeline, isn't someone you would expect to find in the Apex games. Once the child of wealthy war profiteers, she left home when she learned of the damage her family had caused and enlisted in the Frontier Corps, a humanitarian organization that aids frontier communities in need. She's since devoted her life in helping others and joined the Apex Games to fund the Frontier Corps with her winnings. Since no one in the game is innocent, they all know what they are signed up for, and every one of her victories meant help for those in need. Lifeline has no problem in engaging in the popular blood sport, or so she tells herself. She may seem sarcastic and callous, but deep down she wants to help people and make the world a better place. Now let's talk about her abilities. Her tactical ability includes the DOC Hill Drone, which is used to maintain health during combat of any member of the team. Her passive ability includes Combat Medic, which is used to revive anyone quickly while providing protection also. And her ultimate ability includes the Care Package Drop to make sure everyone has best defensive equipment. Next on we have Mirage. Elliot Witt, aka Mirage, is the kind of guy who likes to stand out. The youngest of 4 brothers, he perfected the art of fooling around to get attention. One thing he took seriously was holopilot technology, introduced to the illusion creating tech by his engineer mother. He pored over the mechanics and learned all he could about them. Even when his brothers went MIA during the Frontier War, Mirage and his mother continued to develop holo devices, and the work brought them closer. While working as a bartender to make ends meet, Mirage heard amazing stories from his patrons about the Apex Games and the wealth and glory that came with victory. As good as both of these sounded, he knew he couldn't risk leaving his mother childless until she gave him a set of customized holo devices and told him to follow his dream. Mirage is now the life of Apex Games, outwitting the opponents and charming audiences across the Outlands. Now let's talk about his abilities. His passive ability includes Encore, and his ultimate ability includes Vanishing Act, in which he invisibly escapes, leaving behind many decoys. And his tactical ability includes Psych Out, in which he passes a decoy to fool enemies and kill them. Next on we have Pathfinder, real name MRVN. Pathfinder is the picture of optimism despite his circumstances. MRVN, to specialize in location scouting and surveying, he booted up decades ago in an abandoned library with no idea who created him or why. With only his MRVN designation to hint at his identity, Pathfinder set off in search of his creator. Pathfinder has learned much in his travels since then, but hasn't come any closer to finding his creator. Still, he never given up hope and has joined the Apex Games to gain a following and hopefully draw the attention of his maker. Now let's talk about its abilities. Its tactical ability includes Grappling Hook, which helps it to grapple to in a run or combat. His passive ability includes Insider Knowledge, in which he could hack transmitters to know the position of the next ring. And his ultimate ability includes Zipline Gun, in which he fires a zipline to take the team members out of harm's way. Next on, we have Wrath. Wrath is a whirlwind fighter able to execute swift and deadly attacks and manipulate space-time by opening rifts in the fabric of reality. But she has no idea how she got that way. Years ago, she woke up in an IMC detection facility for the Mentality 3 with no memory of her life before. She also began hearing a distant voice whispering in her mind that would keep her awake for days on end. Despite nearly driving her insane, once she started to listen and trust it, the voice helped her harness her newfound power of void manipulation and escape the facility. Determined to uncover her true identity, Wrath began a quest to find out more about the experiments. Many of the old research facilities, however, are buried beneath heavily guarded arenas used for Apex games. Now Wrath has joined the competition, and with every match she gets closer to the truth. Now let's talk about her gruesome abilities. A tactical ability includes Into the Void, in which she could run invisibly with an aura around her. Her passive ability includes Voices from the Void, in which she could know if someone's watching the team. And her ultimate ability includes Dimensional Rift, in which she could travel through, creating rifts in time and easily fool the enemy and kill them. Next on, we have Bloodhound. Bloodhound is known across the Outlands as one of the greatest game hunters the Frontier has ever seen, and that's about all anyone knows. Their identity is a mystery wrapped in the layers of rumors. They are fabulously wealthy, bloodthirsty murderer, a Goliath whisperer, a former slave, half-bat, a dozen other things depending on who's doing the whispering. All anyone truly knows is that Bloodhound is a force to be reckoned within the Apex games. Bloodhound's unparalleled tracking skills are a boon to any team they join, helping them root out hidden opponents and tracking the enemy's movement. Calling on Earth's old Norse gods to guide them, Bloodhound believes that destiny is a path that has already been laid out, eventually carrying all to their death. Now let's talk about his abilities. His passive ability includes Tracker, in which he could track anybody through their footsteps. His tactical ability includes Eye of Allfather, in which he could watch through enemies in a low range at a low time. And his ultimate ability is the Beast of the Hunt, in which he could watch through the enemies in a high range at a 35-second limit. Next on, we have Caustic. Before there was Caustic, a scientist named Alexander Knox worked at Humbert Labs, the Frontier's leading manufacturer of pesticide gases. With a glut of pesticides needed to protect the growing Frontier colony's crops, Humbert Labs was constantly on the hunt for better and stronger formulas. Knox was the one of their brightest scientists and worked day and night developing new gases. But to make sure they worked, he needed to test them on more than just inert tissues. He needed something living. As he toiled in secret, Knox began to see the beauty in his creations and their ability to destroy anything they touched. But the head of Humbert Labs soon discovered his gruesome experiments, and their confrontation ended with the lab in flames and its chief dead. Today, Knox is missing and presumed deceased. Caustic, meanwhile, now finds new test subjects in the Apex games, where he puts his gaseous creations to work and observes their effects with great interest. Now let's talk about his abilities. His passive ability includes Knock Vision, where he could see through his gases. His tactical ability includes Knock's Gas Trap, where he could set gas traps. His ultimate ability includes Knock's Gas Grenade, where he throws a gas grenade, too destructible in nature. We have Octane. One day, Octavio Silva was bored. In fact, he was bored most days. Hired to the preoccupied CEOs of Silva Pharmaceuticals and wanting nothing for life and in life, he entertained himself by performing death-defying stunts and posting hollow hits of them for his fans to gawk over. So this day, he decided to set the course record for a nearby gauntlet by launching himself across the finishing line using a grenade. As he lay in triage hours later, doctors informed him that the damage done to his legs meant his daredevil days were over. That didn't sit well in Octavio, who turned to an old friend for help, HHA, who he guilted into forging an order to replace his legs with bionic ones. Suddenly able to repair his limbs at a moment's notice, Octavio decided petty online stunts weren't enough. The ultimate adrenaline rush, the Apex games, was calling. Now he's going to be an Apex champion, doing the most incredible. Now let's talk about the abilities of the adrenaline junk. Well, his tactical ability includes Swift Mend, which is the ability to regenerate during combat at a run. And obviously his ultimate ability includes launchpad, where he could jump on a launchpad and go forward, and he goes up up and the enemies go down down. So that was pretty much everything about Apex Legends. Hit the thumbs up if you liked the video and comment down below about the part of the video you liked the most. And if the video really touched your heart, then share the video as much as you can. So that's all for today, and I'll meet you in the next video. Until then, dab bro.